Here's the truth about the South Orange County real estate market. Is the market shifting? Today, we're going to dive into increasing demand and decreasing supply and what that means for our real estate market here in Orange County, California. So while prices are near record high, demand is increasing despite what a lot of the experts are telling us here locally. So today we're diving into the April 2026 real estate market to see what's really going on in our spring market. Let's jump in. So in this first slide, we see only 971 homes came on the market in March of 2026. This is down 15% from the previous year, and while higher than 2023 and 2024, it's still significantly down from years prior to that. So in this next slide, we see that the number of homes for sale this year is down 3% compared to last year, and almost half of what we were back in 2019. So I know it's a recurring theme, but it's something we need to keep in mind. The supply, the homes for sale, the inventory, is still suppressed. And that's having a big effect on the market in a lot of ways that we'll get into here in a little bit more detail. So we look over on the other side of the screen. 2026 started out higher than the last couple of years, but you can see it's not climbing as it has in the last couple of years, nor historically. That slope of that line, the rate at which it's growing is fairly muted. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, the number of homes for sale back in 2025, those lines crossed, meaning 2026 now has fewer homes than last year, as we mentioned earlier. So with everything that's going on in the market, both real estate as well as other events that are going on globally, sellers are reluctant to put their houses on the market, more so, as we'll see in a minute, than buyers are hesitant to buy. Now, if you look at demand as measured by the number of homes in escrow, we'll see that we had a surge towards the end of March and the beginning of April, pushing that number 7% higher than last year. As you can see, this is the highest it's been since 2022, but still down from that kind of historical trend that we saw back in 2019, down over 40%. So this one was a bit of a surprise, seeing that sharp run up that we saw this year compared to the last couple of years, especially as we'll get to here later in the video. So here's our monthly trends of homes in escrow. And as you can see, 2026 has been taking off a little bit more sharply than the last couple of years, passing any other year going back to 2022, still short of the historic averages we saw in 2019, fairly outpacing the last 3 years. In this slide where we look at the closed sales in March, we see another bit of a surprise. Sales closed were up 10% over a year prior, which is a pretty big jump, March over March. That puts it above the last 3 years prior to that, and not too far off, about 11% below where we saw 2019 end up in March. So despite fewer choices, buyers were still engaging sellers and buying homes. So here we see year to date. While we started off a little bit slower, as we know, the last month or two have been ramping up and has pushed us ahead of year to date last year by a little bit, just 1%, and still 13% down from 2019. But a lot of momentum going on with everything else that we're seeing in the market. Bit of insight when we saw briefly, for a very brief period of time, when interest rates dipped to 6%, we're seeing some of that buyer interest here in both the escrows and the closings. Speaking of interest rates, here you can see the trends for the benchmark 30-year fixed. A year ago, we were at about 6.8%. This year, we're at about 6.4% here in the beginning of April. But if you look back a couple of weeks ago, you're going to see that the interest rates dipped to 5.99, which was the lowest level in about 4 years. Talked about that last month. And that sparked some buyers pulling the trigger, locking in that rate once they were in escrow. But with some inflationary fears due to rising oil and gas prices, the interest rates went back up pretty quickly, up to about 6.4% currently as of today's date. And if you look recently, we were actually at about 6.6%, and rates have started to come back down. So probably see a little bit of buyer slowdown in 30 days from that, but buyer activity is still continuing to plod along. So how does that affect pricing? Well, here what we see is that we are about 1% below year over year. Now, something to note, last year, March was our peak for South Orange County. We were in the low $750 per square foot range, and we are just below that by about 1% today. So we went down and then slowly have climbed back up in the last year, so that we're within 1% of the peak. The other thing to note is we're up about 1% from last month, and you can see the last couple of months the prices have started to go up, which is typical in the spring market. Now, with everything going on in the economy and elsewhere, a lot of people were surprised with that, expecting prices to go crashing and demand to go down. But as we've seen earlier, the exact opposite has been happening in terms of both pricing and demand. So for sellers, supply is down about 15%. That's your competition, other homes that are on the sale, other homes that are on the market trying to attract buyers, and demand is up about 7%. More buyers potentially looking at your home. So this low volume, decent buyer activity environment can be a good time if you are thinking about selling. And this is where our strategy of helping sellers achieve 9.7% higher sales price is perfect for markets like this, whether it's up, down, or sideways. You always want to list with an expert who can help you get more money in your pocket at the end of the day. Over a 20-year period, our average sales price is 9.7% higher than our competition. So something to keep in mind if you are thinking about selling. For buyers, as rates have kind of come back down a little bit, you could potentially be facing more competition. And that's where having an expert in the market like us is going to help you navigate that, not overpay for the house, but beat out the competition to get the house that you're looking at buying. And that's why you need a local expert like us who not only tracks the market very closely, but knows what's going on neighborhood by neighborhood so that you can navigate today's market. If you have specific questions about your neighborhood here in Orange County, give us a call. If you're thinking about selling, we can talk to you about the pros and cons of doing it now and why you should work with someone like us. And then if you're looking to buy, also give us a call and we can tell you what's going on and help you get the house that you're looking for. That's what we're here for. I'm Jim with the Bishop team, your leading realtors here in Orange County, California.